وسهلا بكل الذين ينضموا للاستماع إلى راديو بلدي أول راديو عربي أمريكي ويعنى بقضايا العرب في المهجر. برامجنا في راديو بلدي كل يوم جمعة من 8 وحتى 9 صباحا في بث حي ومباشر عبر WNZK راديو 690 AM. صباح الخير بلدي، صباح الخير لكل مستمعينا.
Welcome to Radio Baladi, the first Arab, Middle Eastern, and American simulcast radio show. Radio Baladi is broadcast every Friday morning on WNZK 690 AM from 8 until 9 Eastern Time on Good Morning, Michigan. Our call-in number 248-557-3300. And now, stay tuned for the best radio talk show on Arab and American issues.
The U.S. Arab Radio Network is the largest Arab and Muslim radio network in America, broadcasting throughout the Midwest region Monday through Friday on WNZK AM 690. U.S. Arab Radio features Arabic and English language programming on every topic, from health, food, and culture to government, politics, and legal issues. Listen live to U.S. Arab Radio in Michigan, Toledo, Ohio, and Windsor, Canada on WNZK AM 690. And in Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia on WDMV 700 AM. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. So join us every day on the U.S. Arab Radio Network and check out our website at www.arabradio.us.
Good morning and thank you for being with us. This is Khalil Hachem with U.S. Arab Radio. You know, for 8 months, President Trump has been waging a trade war against the world. He wants to, he's been wanting to negotiate trade deals with all countries that deal with the United States. So far, we have had no significant contracts. All we've had is on and off and tariffs and then promises and threats. And, after all, what has it really done to this country? What have we accomplished and how is going to affect us? With us this morning is Dr. Vivek Singh, Professor of Economics and Finance at the University of Michigan, Dearborn. Good morning and thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me, Khalil.
Absolutely. So far, how has the economy reacted to this on and off, no accomplishment, basically no major accomplishment for President Trump's, tariffs and trade war?
You have a point there, but I would not go that far in saying that this has been totally ineffective. I mean, it's more of a mixed bag, in my opinion. Obviously, having the threat of tariffs and especially this behavior on and off sort of one day saying that we're going to impose this and next day we're going to put it on pause and the third day again we bring it back. It doesn't help anyone, especially businesses. But at the same time, I think he has been able to negotiate or probably he bullied some of the major trading partners into agreeing to a few things which might benefit US, at least in the short run. When I say that, I have examples of Japan, South Korea in particular, and Europe, at least in principle, they've agreed that they're going to give a lot of concessions to US. But obviously, this uncertainty that whether this will remain in place, and that obviously causes a lot of uncertainty in the minds of business people, and that is hampering, they can't plan. I talk to my business associates, these are people in very senior positions in various companies, and they say we can't plan. We don't know how the performance statement is going to look like. We don't know how much of revenue, how much where to put the money. They can't plan anything. So the biggest problem out here with this whole tariff on and off system is they can't plan anything. If they know the tariffs are going to be there permanently, and if there is a logic, and I mean, there is another point that there is no logic behind it. it just seems to be like whatever he pleases. So, so on one hand, like we don't seem to have a very, very well thought out tariff plan. And secondly, like we don't have any certainty, which is not good for the businesses or the markets.
I mean, to me, when I review it, it's like, to me, it's like it looks like a bullying kind of tactic. That I'm powerful. I can do this to you. I want to bring you to your knees. Here's what I want. And things don't work out that way normally with nations. I mean, I understand he's a businessman. He was a president before. He should have learned his lesson by now. But this bullying tactic really is not really gonna work. You know.
I couldn't agree more, Khalil. So that's why when I said that he has been not able to negotiate, is basically he has been able to sort of bully these countries which are less powerful, both in terms of military power as well as in economics. They depend a lot on the US markets into agreeing to things which will benefit US in the short run, only the short run. But in the long run, I think they have to figure out, they will figure out, and they've already figured out that US is not a reliable partner. And they will have to diversify away from US.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
so it's a short-term gain, but with long-term grave implications for the US. We are losing these allies. Japan are one of the strongest allies that we have in Asia. Canada to the north, they have always been with us for more than 200, 300 years, but now they don't trust us. In fact, like they hate us
Yeah.
by some measures.
When we're talking about businesses, for those who don't understand how this works, why is it difficult for businesses, all this uncertainty?
Yes, so Khalil, like I mean, if it's going to cost me a lot more to import from, say, Europe or say from Asia, then because of the tariffs that I have to pay, then you may make a simple argument that it makes sense for me to start looking for alternative sources. Like maybe I want to reshore some of those things back in the US if it makes sense. Or maybe I want to reshore to those places where the tariffs are little not as bad as they happen to be, say, in the case of China or say maybe Europe, at least at one point. Maybe I want to say Vietnam or maybe India. But the trouble out here, the simple upshot of all this is like I need this information to plan where to invest, where to source these materials from. But the problem with this all uncertainty is that we don't know. Today it seems to be like, okay, it seems to be favorable to reshore some of the activities out here, but tomorrow he may go back and say, I'm going to reduce the tariff, or there is no tariff. Or I'm going to, like, if I'm trying to say move some of the activities to say India from China, suddenly India is slapped with some more tariffs. And not because of some reasons, but because of sometimes political reason. Okay, you have been friendly to Russia.
Yeah.
So you pay the price. So like, I mean, as a business person, like if I'm not going to import from, say, China, purely say for tariff reason, if I want to move it to say Vietnam, or I want to move it to say Indonesia, or if I want to move it to India, even those things are like looking not very different. Okay, like what should I do? I can't reshore, I can't bring back everything, even if I wanted to, because of cost considerations, or even if I could, but like I need this certainty that tell me this is how it's going to be. I don't keep going back and forth on these numbers that today the tariff is on, that tomorrow the tariff is off.
Yeah.
It brings down the whole investment thing. Like when people can't plan, like they don't invest, and investment is something which drives the economy.
Absolutely. Yeah. Tariffs are not new. They've been around for a long time. And for those listeners who don't understand how this works, and I had to look it up myself to educate myself as well, tariffs are it's just like a tax, like a fee. It's imposed on countries that bring in their goods into the United States. So this is an added amount of money or fee that is paid on, and some several presidents before imposed tariffs and used the tariff policy. Excuse me. In fact, President Biden kept some of the tariffs that President Biden imposed in the first term. I think what really different here is how the president is really imposing that, and that's what we're talking about, the uncertainty, and then the motive. He made this big promise, and I don't think it was well thought out.
Yeah, Khalil, yeah. I mean, this is the whole problem. This hasn't been well thought out tariff plan. Like what exactly we are trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
First of all. And okay, so there is no well thought out strategy behind the whole tariff which are being introduced. And the bigger problem, as we said, this on-off kind of thing doesn't help anyone. Like, okay, even if there is no logic, okay, we agree that, okay, there's absolutely no logic, but we're going to impose these tariffs anyway, then keep it that way. So at least people know, okay, this is what we are in for, so we can circumvent or navigate our way around these things. But like, neither do we have any sort of thought out strategy, nor we have any sort of a definite plan. Like, then we don't know what to do. It puts everybody in a state of limbo. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm just right.
Absolutely. I looked up how tariff has been imposed over the years a while back, and they've been used as a last resort. Negotiations take place first, and if they get to a point where they need to flex some muscles, then they threaten with tariffs, or they impose tariffs, or whatever it is. It's never, I think, in the history, it was just imposed first and talk later. And I think this is another the difference in how President Trump decides to do it.
Excellent point, Khalil. I think this is a great point. Yeah, you're totally right. I mean, this is exactly the way that tariffs have worked in the past. Like, you sit across the table and you talk like reasonable people that, okay, there is some benefit to you guys and there is some benefit to us in making sure that the tariffs are zero or close to zero. But if for whatever reason the negotiations don't work out, or again, all kinds of reasons, then we have to go our own ways and figure out, okay, what's going to work for us and what is going to work for you guys. That is, it's a weapon of last resort. But out here, the things have been turned on the head. Like we impose the tariffs, and there's, okay, we'll talk, and again, even after like agreeing to certain things, there is no guarantee that the next day it might not change. So there is, you give a word, but like that word is also has to be taken with a grain of salt. I mean, we agree, okay, we're not going to impose, but the third day, okay, it might change, or fourth day it might change.
Exactly. It's just has been frustrating to really follow up on all of these different things and try to predict what's going to happen really after that. What we're going to do is we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
A car accident can change your life in an instant. As a result of a car accident, you may become unemployed. As a result of a car accident, you may need a lot of medical treatment. People think that insurance companies are on their side. Why? Because they're giving them one or two benefits. Are they giving them all the benefits they deserve? How would one know unless you consult with an attorney? Call the law offices of Jumana Kiruz at 248-557-3645. 248-557-3645.
With more than 30,000 successful in vitro fertilizations, IVF Michigan is now ranked as one of America's best fertility clinics according to Newsweek magazine. IVF Michigan fertility centers are the recognized leaders in high-quality fertility care. With locations in Bloomfield Hills and 9 other cities in Michigan and Ohio, IVF has experts in all aspects of the field. A founding member, American board-certified Dr. Nicholas Shama, is one of the leading reproductive endocrinologists in Michigan and Ohio. He has performed over 20,000 successful IVF cases, and it's helped thousands of couples fulfill their dreams of parenthood. When it's time to get personalized care from Dr. Nicholas Shama at one of America's best fertility clinics, call IVF Michigan Fertility Centers in Michigan and Ohio toll-free at 855-952-9600. 855-952-9600.
Okay, let's see. 3 orange folders, 2 blue folders, 1 white gym shirt, 1 box of 24 crayons.
Before you get started on that back-to-school list, get caught up on this one.
Measles, mumps, rubella vaccine, polio vaccine, chickenpox vaccine.
Protect your child from disease outbreaks. See a healthcare provider to get them up to date on vaccines and visit ivaccinate.org to learn more. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Franny Strong Foundation.
The U.S. Arab Radio Network is the largest Arab and Muslim radio network in America, broadcasting throughout the Midwest region Monday through Friday on WNZK AM 690. U.S. Arab Radio features Arabic and English language programming on every topic, from health, food, and culture to government, politics, and legal issues. Listen live to U.S. Arab Radio in Michigan, Toledo, Ohio, and Windsor, Canada on WNZK AM 690. And in Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia on WDMV 700 AM. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. So join us every day on the U.S. Arab Radio Network and check out our website at www.arabradio.us.
Welcome back. We're talking, this is Khalil Hachem with US Arab Radio. We're talking to Dr. Singh. We're talking about tariffs and how they have been imposed and what are the consequences. What industries really are affected the most by tariffs?
So Khalil, definitely, I think it's going to affect all the industries, but some industries are going to be affected a lot more because on one hand, we have these any import coming from certain country are going to be levied with certain minimum level of tariff. But on top of that, we have these sectoral tariffs, like some industries. It doesn't really matter where the stuff comes from. They are going to be levied with certain level of tariffs. Say aluminum, for example, or steel comes as another example. And we are also talking about pharma or chips. So these kinds of industries, which talking about, say, Michigan, and auto is a big industry, not just for the Michigan, but for the US economy. Now, if we are going to import these aluminum or steel, mostly steel, and some aluminum which goes into the cars at a much higher rate, at a much higher cost, obviously, this is going to affect my cost structure, is going to affect my profitability. And sooner or later, I have to think about bumping up the prices of my products, my outputs, my cars. And we know it's very simple that if you bump up the price, people are not going to buy as much of my cars. So all sectors, in my opinion, are going to be affected, but some sectors are going to be affected a lot more, which are either directly consuming these kinds of inputs like aluminum, steel, pharma, chips. And so the industries over there, they will have to either absorb these costs. If you absorb these costs, you're looking at low profitability. But I'm quite confident that they will not be absorbing all the increased costs. They will eventually pass on many of these costs down to the consumers, which means that the prices are higher, and the consumers have, as we started our discussion by saying that's like a tax. So suddenly, we have to pay this, I'm paying higher price for the same or same chip or the same prescription because there is an additional tax which has been imposed by the US government.
Yeah, I wonder how long businesses could really tough it out like that and absorb the, it seems like next year is going to be a very tough year for everybody if it continues like this.
Absolutely, Khalil. I think it's just a matter of time. I think you're totally right. We give 6 months to a year before the businesses start transferring all these higher costs down to the consumers. How much of these costs are going to be passed down? It's again somewhat debatable, but definitely I've seen numbers on the low side around 20%, 20% of the higher costs are going to be passed down. I've also seen numbers like as high as 67%, like say 2/3 of the increased cost will be passed on to the consumers. And like this morning, it very interesting. I saw the Walmart numbers came out, and suddenly the Walmart is selling more from the same stores, which is a very clear sign that people are already looking for cheaper alternatives. Like they're not
Yeah.
going to perhaps Targets, so
Yeah.
those are already up. Amazon price up very quietly. They have increased the prices, and the Walmart, the Target prices are higher, and that's why people are moving to Walmart. So this is already begun to happen, but I think this will begin to happen more on a much wider scale. Once people have figured out, okay, how there is still a lot of uncertainty. Like businesses don't want to antagonize their customers that by bumping up the prices right away. They are seeing like, okay, what happens? Like, let's see some agreement. Okay, 6 months down the road, 1 year down the road, once we know, okay, European deal has been done, or what happens to China, what kind of deal we end up striking with India. So once we have all these deals in place, we exactly know that what we are in for. Then eventually, obviously, the businesses will not absorb everything. When the bottom lines are hit, shareholders are not happy, and the Wall Street is not happy. So they'll do something.
Yeah, it's gonna affect the economy in all its aspects. I can tell going to the grocery store, what we used to get for $50, now we have to spend 80 and 90. And pretty soon it's gonna get even worse. And if the problem with it is, if it's done gradually, we don't really pay attention to it. But if it is done at once, then it creates more of a backlash. So, but I see it becoming like more gradually here and there, certain things, but eventually everything is going to go up. I'm just wondering where is going to be that break point where people are going to say enough is enough.
Yeah. And Khalil, you're totally right. And paradoxically, like we elected President Trump with the idea that he's going to bring down the prices. Because people fed up with the inflation during the latter half of Biden years. And for again, like some of the reasons were like beyond his control. Some of the reasons were like very much within his control. But like one thing which everybody was thinking about when we went to the elections, like when we went to vote last year, was high prices. And we elected him, and paradoxically now we have a president who is like doing willy-nilly everything in his power to make sure that everybody pays a lot more than what they paid last year.
Absolutely. It's just, poor people are going to pay for it the most, and it's going to zinc people even more because a good number of people will be losing their subsidies from the government. I was trying to find out when is that deadline. Now these people have to apply every 6 months instead of every year, which is we already passed the 6 months mark, and it takes a month or two to make a determination. And if more and more people lose their benefits, they're going to have less money for food than they did before, and your money is not buying as much. It's gonna at the end of the year, it's gonna be really tough on a lot of people.
That is a great point. That is like totally a different thing which happened, like on the side. This tax bill, like they are being, it's a double whammy of the negative kind, especially for the poor people. On one hand, they are getting less help from the federal and the state government. At the same time, like the prices are shooting up, and even the job market. Those who have jobs, like they are feeling that the job market is not as hunky dory as it was last year. The wages are not increasing at the same rate, and people finding it very difficult to get jobs. So it's still not very bad, but like things are not the same what it was 1 year back. So with the softening job market, with the prices being high, and especially these poor people losing some or all of their benefits, it's gonna be mighty difficult for a lot of us, especially the poor people.
Yeah. What could consumers do to really navigate this tough time?
I think, as I gave, typically, what the logical thing to do is like if say beef becomes more expensive, probably you switch over to chicken. So you
Yeah.
start
Substitute. Yeah.
yeah. So substitution is one thing.
Yeah.
Like start looking for maybe cheaper alternatives. Like instead of shopping at maybe Target, like go to Walmart. And
Yeah.
by the Walmart is the products are very good quality these days. Like I mean, it's not the same what Walmart was 10 years back. So look for cheaper alternatives, and obviously you have to cut back. And eventually, like when you can't eat like so much of bacon and so much of steak, if the things are going to be hard.
Yeah.
On the other hand, of course, like I mean, the basic things which come to mind is like stop eating out.
Yeah.
Stop eating out, eat at home, or cut down any. You have to cut down on entertainment. Like maybe instead of watching, say, 2 games a year, maybe just watch 1 game a year. Watch at home, watch on TV. So
Sure.
these are the certain kinds of belt tightening things that we will all have to do.
Exactly. How does this uncertainty affect inflation?
So again, like I mean, that is one big reason why the Federal Reserve Bank is still holding on to this interest rate. Like they're keeping the interest rates as they were for some time, because we still don't know like how the prices are going to be changed. So like so this so at, or you can make an argument that if the let's say 6 months down the road or 1 year down the road, like we know that the prices, like this is what the tariff is going to be, much higher than what it's today. So it could be a one-off increase, and after that prices will increase or decrease depending upon all other factors, not because of tariff. So that part is still acceptable. Like I mean, one-off increase is not as much of an issue, but the problem is like how much of increase, when exactly is going to increase, how it's going to affect the economy. So on one hand, like the Federal Reserve Bank is supposed to make sure that the prices remain in check, like the inflation remains in check, but they're also supposed to make sure that the market is not unduly hit. And out here, we will have a situation because of the tariff. It will not only impact the prices, but will also, as we have been talking, it's also going to affect the businesses. When business are not going to invest as much, when the business are not going to hire as much, I think we are looking at like, I won't go as far as saying that recession, but like the growth will not be as great as it has been lately.
Yeah. You know, they were talking about maybe they would deliver 2 cuts this year. Now it's starting to look doubtful because inflation is still kind of up, and we don't really have a good handle on that. So even though their target is 2%, I think, from what I've read, and I'm not an expert on this, a lot of economists feel like 3% is a still good number when it comes to inflation.
Yeah, Federal Reserve Bank likes a number more like 2%, but now we are pretty much very close to stuck around 2.8, 2.9, or more like 3%. So it's like it comes down, then it again goes back to around 3%. So like it's looking like that we are in a different era where like it's going to be more like much higher than 2%, what the Federal Reserve would like, but more in the region of around 2.8, 2.9%. So this is again, like I think how it's going to affect the whole interest rate policy, like that's, I think we have to see.
Yeah. The other thing I noticed is that when this issue being discussed, the tariff and its consequences, people are not really, very few people are really addressing it head on. Everybody wants to dance around it. There is that fear of upsetting the president and his people. And I don't see that. Do you see that healthy? I don't see that healthy at all, because I mean, if we need to sound an alarm, we need to sound an alarm.
Yeah, that is the unfortunate aspect of this current administration, that like it's driven by just one person, and people are doing things not because it makes sense, or it makes sense for their economy, or even for the US is maybe, but it makes more sense because they don't want to deal with this person like who may do God knows what.
Take their job away or worse.
Yeah, we don't know. Like, I mean, it's, I mean, who would have thought that like some country's president has to think, what should I do with my political opponents? Because if I do this, America is going to impose tariffs on me. We have a person out who has broken the law. We want to prosecute him, but we can't prosecute him because it's going to upset one person sitting in White House.
Yeah, I know. What's like, final question? What's the outlook? Do we know? Do we have an idea what may happen?
Really, like I'm a born optimist, so like I would still say that I think the things are not as rosy as they were, but like I think slowly but surely, I think Europe will come around. China is going to be a much more difficult case to handle, but I think they will also see the benefit of making some sort of deal. And India too, like, which is still holding out, but eventually they will find a way, maybe by making some huge investments, like maybe doing something which saves the face of the president, that, okay, we got something out of India too. So I think all these countries will make a deal. It's not the best situation, like, unfortunately, but like sometimes we have to live with the second best situation. So
exactly.
So it's like, this is under the circumstances. But the good thing, like, in my opinion, which is still holding up the economy, is this whole AI revolution, like, which is happening, which is keeping up the investments.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So people are still investing despite all these problems.
Excuse me. I appreciate you taking the time to be with us. As always, we appreciate your input, your expertise. And Dr. Vivek Singh, Professor of Economics and Finance at the University of Michigan, Dearborn. Thanks again. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Khalil. Thank you for having me.
We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
Welcome to Al Shaba Restaurant at 2029 15 Mile Road in Sterling Heights, where you'll be treated to the finest in Middle Eastern cuisine. Enter into the exotic atmosphere of tantalizing aromas and enjoy our chicken or beef shawarma hummus, kebabs, specially seasoned Syrian-style beef burgers, babia fatouche salad, soups and sandwiches, plus desserts that include baklava, ice cream, and more. Just call in your order at 586-565-6661 or go to our website and place your order now at elshaba.square.site. That's elshaba.square.site. Then you'll see all there is to choose from. Try us today. You'll like us. We are located at 2097 15 Mile Road in Sterling Heights. Life for Relief and Development has now been rated as one of the best charities for humanitarian aid. Life's humanitarian projects span the globe, and Life is celebrating its 30th anniversary of providing essential life-saving aid to people and communities in 36 countries, regardless of race, color, religion, or cultural background. Where there is life, there is hope. And when disaster occurs here or around the world, including being one of the first responders to the Turkey-Syria earthquake crisis, Life for Relief and Development rushes in to provide food, medical aid, and shelter to those in need. We are looking to help the earthquake victims, and we take 0% overhead on emergency donations. So please help improve these efforts. Learn more about our involvement to help the helpless and bring hope where it's needed most, and make your tax-deductible donation to Life for Relief and Development now at lifeusa.org or call 248-424-7493. That's 248-424-7493. The U.S. Arab Radio Network is the largest Arab and Muslim radio network in America, broadcasting throughout the Midwest region Monday through Friday on WNZK AM 690. U.S. Arab Radio features Arabic and English language programming on every topic, from health, food, and culture to government, politics, and legal issues. Listen live to U.S. Arab Radio in Michigan, Toledo, Ohio, and Windsor, Canada on WNZK AM 690. And in Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia on WDMV 700 AM. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. So join us every day on the U.S. Arab Radio Network and check out our website at www.arabradio.us.
Welcome back and thank you for being with us. This is Khalil Hachem with US Arab Radio. We're going to shift from economics to schools. As you well know, the school year is going to start at the end of the month. And with us this morning is Dr. Glenn Maleyko. He is the superintendent of the Dearborn schools. Good morning, Dr. Maleyko, and thank you for being with us.
Good morning, Mr. Hachem. Thank you for having us. I always appreciate being on your show and your support in the community.
Absolutely. Thank you. And are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready. We're ready to roll. We're ready to go. Everyone's excited to start the year next on Monday, first day, half day for our students. And we've had a lot of preparation and planning going on. In fact, I just came back from the teacher welcome back picnic. We've had a lot of training. We've been working all summer to prepare for this.
Wonderful. Are there any changes this year?
I mean, the calendar and things like that, we're going to continue to move forward. I think some of the things that we did, which we're going to build on the momentum from last year, we started a sports program at the elementary level, which is positive. We have our strategic plan that we're working on. We just came off of, and I got to mention this, one of the largest summer programs in the state with over 4,000 students. Miss Ali Bazzi ran it. So that was very positive momentum. We know we need to focus on literacy goals, literacy for students, interventions to support students. So in the classroom, that's very important, and other things that we want to continue to do. So we are opening the new, we believe heavily in, not only our high graduation rates at 95%, but also how well our students when they leave their own schools. We have a 72% college admission rate. That's 20% above state average. Part of that is our partnership with Henry Ford College, and we're excited to open new buildings on the college that are owned by Dearborn Schools for that early college program. We have the Collegiate Academy over there for students that can go to the 3 main high schools and take college classes. And we also have what we call dual enrollment classes and then advanced placement. We have about 3,800 students that are taking classes on the college campus. We estimate we are saving almost $20 million in tuition for parents that they otherwise would have had to pay if they went to four-year university directly without taking these additional programs. So we're very excited about that. We're going to be working on a couple of areas of concern, which is not just Dearborn, but around everywhere. It's in my goals. Bullying prevention is a very important thing. And then attendance. Attendance is at an issue statewide, I think nationally since the pandemic. And so we're going to have to look at chronic absenteeism. We're still not that bad compared to other districts, but we know we need to improve for the benefit of our students.
The early college program is a wonderful program. My son went through it. He graduated this summer, and now he's going to Wayne, and it did save me a lot of money. So I really appreciate it. Yeah. Now my daughter is 14. She's going to the same program, and we're excited. She's going to the new building, so we're excited.
Oh, good. Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a great program. I just can't say enough good things about it. What I liked about it also, the level of education there is really incredible. It's really good. So, what do parents need to know?
We're starting back, for school. We know their parents are going to be some, especially kindergartners and that, if it's their first child, they'll be a little nervous. We understand our staff are there to support them. If they need anything, they can contact the office of the schools that their students will be starting on Monday. It is a half day of school. We need parent involvement. So I would just say, like, when events come up or PTA meetings, or I do these chatting with the parent events that I go to all different schools and my team does, we need the parent voice and we need to partner with parents, and we always do. I think parents just need to be aware that we're here for their children. We want to provide support for the students, and we're here to partner because it's very important in education. And so parents can also help in those areas that I just mentioned, with attendance, with the bullying and other things that we need to work on together. I would also tell parents that we're working on a new communication plan called A Parent Square, and it's an app that we're going to be unveiling this year. And I think it's going to bring enhanced communication between parents, the schools, the school district. So it's going to take a little while for everyone to get used to it. But in today's day and age of technology and apps and people using, WhatsApp and other things, this is going to be specific to Dearborn schools. And we're very excited to get moving on that as well.
Wonderful. What do students need to know?
Students, they need to be ready. Reading is very important. Reading is critical. Literacy. We also know mathematics and numeracy, but we need to have them, their dedication to their studies. We also want them to enjoy school. So whatever level they are at, we want to have fun. Like in our summer program, we had so many different field trips that Miss Ali Bazzi coordinated. It was fantastic. So we're here to welcome them. We want them to have fun in school. It's important to be in school. It's important to work together, and we want them to connect. We know some students may want to go into the athletic program. Some may want to go into the arts. We have a lot of offerings, and I think it's very important that students get involved in their education, and they got to understand that, whatever grade they're at, we're looking to support them in their advancement, because I look forward to shaking their hand at graduation at the end of that 12th grade year. And it's very important that they're working hard. So because we know that education really is the foundation of success of a community, and for individuals, that is the best way. It correlates directly to their income they'll make when they leave the school. So education is very important. We need to value education, and we value our students. Students have a voice. I have an advisory council that meets with me regularly, and they represent the students in all the high schools. And so we want to listen to the students. We want to partner with the students as well.
Wonderful. Is there anything I haven't asked you that either students or parents need to know?
No, just that we're excited to have them. Dearborn Schools continues to excel. We also know we have areas that we can always improve. I would also like to say this, that we're at a point, the parents are going to start hearing about a potential bond next year. Our infrastructure, that is a big concern for us right now. We don't have the plan yet unveiled. We're seeking input from the community. We have aging buildings, and we're looking at a plan. Some of the things that I'd like to see in a bond are additional spaces for early childhood. I would also like to see a new special education facility. We want to enhance the bathrooms in all schools. That would be in fully enclosed bathroom stalls right to the top, better bathrooms, enhanced bathrooms, safety technology, and we want to enhance as well. Lots of cameras around the school to protect our students. Those are some of the things. And then we'll be looking at individual buildings. We're going to get the plan out once the board approves it. We're excited. We will need the support of the parents. I honestly see, I'm going on 30 years this October in Dearborn Public Schools. Started as a substitute teacher in 95, worked at Saline as a teacher, a principal, and then, principal at Duvall, HR, and now superintendent for 11 years. I really think that the infrastructure in dealing with this is going to be one of the biggest long-term issues that we have to face here in Dearborn Schools to maintain the high performance and to improve. Because the state funding system, unfortunately, doesn't provide funding for infrastructure. So that is very important. Another issue we're facing, and parents want to reach out to legislatures, our locals are supportive. We still do not have a budget from the state. They were supposed to give us a budget in July, and so the legislature in Michigan has not come to a compromise. And that's a problem for districts. We're hearing the word of shutdown and things like that from the government. We will, of course, wouldn't be shutting down schools, but these are the finances of the schools are very important. So we appreciate the support of the parents there.
So do you have enough teachers and staff?
Yes, we have very few vacancies. There is a teacher shortage statewide, but our percentage is very low of any that we're still filling. I would say normal to any other year. There was a few years ago where the numbers were higher. Right, we are still hiring, but we're not hiring in massive. We just did have. I can't remember how many teachers we had in the return. I think it was about 80 new teachers to the district approximately. So we're still hiring, but yeah, we don't have many vacancies at all.
The academic level, has it come back to previous COVID?
Not at the state level yet. I think in Dearborn, we've gotten more competitive because we negotiated better contracts for our teachers. And so it attracts more to come to Dearborn. So we're getting there. We have what we call grow your own grants from the state of Michigan. In fact, Dearborn got $4.1 million to support teachers for education to get their certification. So there is monies available for those people that are entering into the teacher profession. We can have like parapros and others that we can pay for their schooling. So Michigan is moving in a positive direction. The state department is the Department of MDE, Michigan Department of Education, has done a nice job moving in that direction, but there's still more work on a state level.
Wonderful. I really thank you so much for taking the time to be with us, and good luck with the school year. We really appreciate it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a short break. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
Are you going to start a restaurant or grocery store soon? Do you need floor plans and designs? Call Naji Abood at 734-744-9796. Do you want to buy kitchen and restaurant equipment at discount prices? Call Naji Abood now, 734-744-9796. New Concept Products and Design, the trademark of kitchen equipment. 5% discount on all purchases of $75,000 or more. New Concept Products and Design, new location, 31185 Schoolcraft in Livonia. Learn more at www.newconceptproducts.com. Call Naji Abood, 734-744-9796.
Ziyad brand. Quality products from our family to yours. Ziyad Brothers Importing offers the finest quality products, including brands like Sultan, Kraft, Nestle, Hook, Rico Picon, Dana, and many more. Ask your retailer to carry these fine products because you deserve the very best. For more information, visit our website at www.ziyad.com. That's www.ziyad.com. Ziyad, quality products from our family to yours.
Okay, let's see. 3 orange folders, 2 blue folders, 1 white gym shirt, 1 box of 24 crayons.
Before you get started on that back to school list, get caught up on this one.
Measles, mumps, rubella vaccine, polio vaccine, chickenpox vaccine.
Protect your child from disease outbreaks. See a healthcare provider to get them up to date on vaccines and visit ivaccinate.org to learn more. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Franny Strong Foundation.
The U.S. Arab Radio Network is the largest Arab and Muslim radio network in America, broadcasting throughout the Midwest region Monday through Friday on WNZK AM 690. U.S. Arab Radio features Arabic and English language programming on every topic, from health, food, and culture to government, politics, and legal issues. Listen live to U.S. Arab Radio in Michigan, Toledo, Ohio, and Windsor, Canada on WNZK AM 690. And in Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia on WDMV 700 AM. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. So join us every day on the U.S. Arab Radio Network and check out our website at www.arabradio.us.
Welcome back and thank you for being with us. This is Khalil Hachem with U.S. Arab Radio. I would like to thank Dr. Vivek Singh for being with us this morning. Earlier talking about economics and also talking about the general perception of the economy, because we can't really tell what's going to happen, but in general what we're talking about is the uncertainty of the economy, the uncertainty of the policy that President Trump is really carrying out with tariffs on, tariffs off. One day is 40%, one day is 100%, one day is 10%. And as Dr. Singh mentioned, this really creates uncertainty for companies and also for individuals, specifically for small businesses, to really plan. They plan 6 months, 8 months, 6 months, a year, 2 year, or so forth and so on. And they need to know how to they need to know how to budget for their purchases and how it's going to affect everybody. The important thing here is to know is that so far most companies have observed the extra cost. Most companies build a cushion, and in this cushion they use it for rainy days, and they consider it as a rainy days because they don't want to lose customers. They don't want to raise their prices. Most businesses we talk to and studies have shown that most businesses cannot sustain this, and I understand that. So you're talking about maybe 2 months, 3 months, and then we're going to start seeing tremendous changes in prices. If you go to the store now, the prices are changing. They're changing, slowly, but they're getting up there. And I used to go spend $50, $75 on grocery. Now $50, $70 don't bring you much. So things are changing, and unfortunately, when prices go up, they never go back down. So it's really highly recommended that you evaluate on the, if you can afford it and just go to the store and don't care how much you spend, that's wonderful. You're one of the few blessed people, and you should be really doing your prayer every day for, and being thankful to the Lord for your blessings. Now, if you're like everybody else, you may need to start planning differently. You may need to start changing some of your habits, eating out, ruling out unnecessary purchases, so forth and so on. And because what's coming in the last quarter and the beginning of the quarter of next year could be really tough, because this is the time when if things don't work out soon, this is the time when companies they're gonna have to start really passing down that cost to individuals and to consumers, and everything is going to be a lot more expensive. Thankfully, the gasoline prices hasn't gone up, but they could if things get worse in the Middle East. We're not going to get into the politics of the Middle East, but there's an imminent war there, and that could change everything. That would be really bad timing for an increases in fuel costs, because that's going to add another zing to the small businesses. Large businesses are able to absorb more shocks than small businesses. Small businesses that operate from paycheck to paycheck, basically these cannot really afford to, and it is also a domino effect. If people buying less, it's going to affect jobs. It's going to affect a lot of things. So I hope that things will change soon. I would like to thank Dr. Maleyko for being with us as well this morning, and good luck to all the parents and the students for the new year. It's going to be an exciting year, and hopefully we'll reel them back from the COVID time at the academic level. Students suffered during those times, and now I'm glad that they're all back in school and life is back to normal. We are going to be talking to the state's medical examiner. We're going to be talking to her soon and talk about more with what we need to do to prepare health-wise for us and for the students as well. We will do that at a later program. Before I let you go, I just wanted to share with you the housing market. It's all connected. It's part of the economy. It's one of the largest economic engine in the United States. And locally here, the housing market, it's kind of like up and down. Prices are still up, but it's kind of up and down when it comes to the interest rates. Interest rates affect the housing market, and affects it tremendously. And then we'll see in prices, still go up and down, and it does affect the housing market, and it affects lending. At the same time, if you're able to buy a home now, you're gonna buy, even though housing prices are up, you're still gonna buy. You're gonna find a better deal right now than waiting until interest rates drops, because once interest rate drops, there're gonna be a lot more people in the market, a lot more buyers in the market, and that's gonna push prices even more higher. So and this is still a really good time to sell. It is a good time to buy. Although we can see that houses are on the market longer, some sellers rather are marketing, and some agents, they're marketing their homes at a higher price than it needs to be. Always a good strategy is market your home at market value. Take a look at what the market today, market at market value. You never go wrong with that. Some people like to market it way below, so because they think people start gonna fight over it. Sometimes it works. Most of the time it does not work. It never goes up to market value. So you're gonna be losing. Yes, you may get 10, 15 offers, but you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose from the overall value of the house. It's better to market at a market value. If you get more, that's great. If not, you're selling at a market value and it doesn't have to sit on the market. There's nothing worse than a house sitting on the market for a long time. People start wondering what's wrong with it. Why isn't it selling? And you don't want to do that. So it's always good to have a strategy. And everything depends on the neighborhood, depends on the demand, it depends what kind of home it is. There are a lot of factors that are involved with that. Some people look at it, Zillow, and they say, this and that. Zillow is just a computer trying to crunch numbers. They're not going to evaluate specifics about a home. They're not going to evaluate specifics about a neighborhood and specifics about a local market. They may give you a certain number, but other than that, they really don't give you anything. You need to work with a professional. You need to work with somebody who really knows what he or she are doing, and that person would know really how to price the home. And good, when it comes to homes, first is the neighborhood, and then the condition of the home, the flow inside the home, and how updated it is, and then the price of the home. This is really what sells the home, And in the neighborhood, it's going to be a good, if it is a good neighborhood, good schools, all of these things add to the value of the home that you're selling. And then the condition of the home, the curb appeal, the flow of the house, how well it's been updated, how well it's being kept, it all affect the price. And then if you have the right price, you shouldn't be really having issues with selling your home. So, and if you're working with a professional, that person will go over all of these variables with you. And always when a seller listens to a professional, that professional who knows what he or she are doing, they always end up happier, making more money, and making it easier sale, And this is the idea of working with someone, and this is why you want to work with someone. Same thing, if we go to the commercial side, at same time, it's pretty similar, It depends on the zoning, depends on the demand, it depends on the restrictions, it depends on the use, it depends on the land use, and depends on the area and location. There are a lot of factors there. And that market is doing well in some sectors, and some sectors it's not. So if you're on the market for commercial, we'll be more than happy to take a look at what you have and what is really going on. And when it comes to commercial, it's more of a cap rate, it's investment, there are numbers, it's how much you make and how much you're going to bring in. This is really what really pushes it. There are no emotions there. So it's very important to evaluate all of that before you can make any commitment. If you are in the market for homes, we got a couple listings in Detroit, in Warrendale area. They're really good homes, and you can buy them and rent them. You can buy them and live in them, and they're really good homes. If you're in the market for a cement plant, we have one. It's a pocket listing. We have this has been around for 50 years. It's a really good, good business, successful business. They work 8 months out of the year. They sell the small load, and they're ready to retire. They'd like to sell that. So let me know, 313-819-0101, 313-819-0101. And if you are looking for any other opportunities, let us know. If you like us to take a look at your home, evaluate it, or if you want to talk about when is a good time for you to buy as a buyer. Sometimes people come to me and they want to buy, and I say, this is not a good time because your credit needs help. You don't have enough down payment. You don't have enough of different things. So we work with you for a few months to make sure that you're buying at the right time. At the same time, if you're eligible, there is a state plans where they help you with up to $10,000 with a perpetual loan. It's a loan, that as long as you own the house, or you live in the house rather, you don't have to pay it back. But if you sell, you have to pay it back. Anyway, give me a call, 313-819-0101. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have. You have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for listening, and you have a goodbye.